Fala galera, sejam bem-vindos ao meu canal, espero que vocês tenham gostado desse novo vídeo. Vamos continuar aqui com o nosso Eternal Strands. Temos muitas coisas para fazer, muitas coisas. Mas vamos lá, isso aqui a gente tem que ler tudo junto, né? É melhor, sei, eu acho melhor. Raças, temos aqui ainda para ler raças, magia, mas vamos lá. Aqui, isso aqui é algo que nós já fizemos, isso aqui é só pra gente ir melhorando as coisas, então vamos ver como é que vai ser. Temos aqui duas missões de companheiros, a descoberta e a geladura. A descoberta, vamos rastrear essa aqui. Fale com Sola. Ora comenta que Dan descobriu algo interessante para Sola que pode resultar num acampamento novo para mim. Tenho que falar com Sola na forja para saber mais detalhes. Vamos lá. A descoberta.
My darling, I suspect the way the light filters through the Enclave's veil makes you look more luminous than ever.
Stop. It'll go to my head.
Should I come back later? I didn't mean to interrupt you two.
Sorry, Bryn. Sometimes we get lost in our little world.
But since you're here, I was actually hoping to speak with both you and Sola.
Oh?
I don't know if you know this, but my wife is an extremely talented smith who was apprenticed under a variety of world-class teachers.
Well, a revolving door of mentors doesn't exactly facilitate the most stable education.
Oh, details. You've made more of your varied experience than most could glean from a lifetime. Anyway, I know you always hoped to further your education with the Tarmakine Smithing School's techniques, so I asked Lane to look into whether or not any Tarmakine smithing was ever practiced here in the Enclave.
Oh, Darl. You shouldn't have. It's sweet, but there are other priorities.
What could be more pressing than helping my wife fulfill her lifelong dreams? As luck would have it, there were Tarmakine smiths here before the set.
Really?
Perhaps our daring point might be able to keep a lookout for anything those smiths might have left behind.
I mean, if it's too much...
Of course. I'd be...
Perfect. I'll leave you to discuss the details.
Anything in particular I should look for?
The Tarmakine smithing techniques are exceptionally complex, and it might be too much to hope for anything close to a completed armor set, but prototypes or even notes pertaining to the style would be useful. I'd take anything you can find.
Got it. I'll keep an eye out.
Thanks, Bryn.
Tá, procure diagramas de forja tamariana no arco do lenhador. Procure protótipos de forja tamariana na passagem alagada. Tá, esse aqui é o arco que a gente já tem. Uau! Tá, ele é 119922. Se eu criar aqui, entendeu? É melhor esse aqui.
Not as protective, but great against the elements.
Agora eu venho aqui e olho. 16, 17, 9, 20, 14. 16, 17. Essa aqui é mais leve. Melhor. Uau! Não dá porque não tem esse aqui. Não dá. Não dá. Beleza. Ver se a gente criar algo novo aqui. A luva já foi. Esse dente não tem. Esse dente não tem. Aqui a gente tem. Nossa, olha isso aqui, velho. E o último, que é o tecido.
Brutish, yet elegant.
Então, a diferença é que esse aqui tem uma flecha infernal. E esse aqui... não sei se vale muito a pena a gente criar esse aqui. Porque a gente já tem um outro lá. É muito mais forte. Agora vamos fazer o seguinte aqui. Vamos olhar aqui os equipamentos. Inventário. Eu quero aqui. Tá, vamos na missão descoberta. Vasculhe. Vale balamute. Não, vale balamute. Vamos lá. Nossa, oh, maravilhoso. Tá, vamos lá. Procure o diagrama de Forja Tamariana no Arco do Lenhador. Arco do Lenhador tá onde? É aqui onde eu tô. Esse aqui, ó. Aqui embaixo?
A set of schematics. Tarmakine smithing? Maybe Sola would know.
Passagem alagada lá embaixo. Cara, esse bichão aí.
Glass tail. On a stormy night back home, their roars echo in the howling winds.
Eu fico com eles, todos eles, eu não tiro. Poxa, não sabia. Dá pra subir nele? Dá. Procure no pouso do emissário uma rota para a parte baixa da cidade. Pô, idiota pra cacete, velho. Pouso do emissário.
Maximilian Odin, founder of the Enclave. Judging by the size of this statue, he certainly wasn't shy about his accomplishments.
That arch should lead you to the lower city.
Baixa Dynevron, plebeus e mercadores. Xuxuxuxuxux. Isso.
A body, ahead. Outfit looks like our spying friends.
So, it's a uniform.
There's a note in his pouch. New drop. Market Loomgate, it says. But wait. Under his mask, he's scorched. Aurea, this looks like the wound on your wing. Only it's everywhere.
But there's no tangle there.
No, it's clear.
Concerning.
I think we should look into that drop his note mentioned.
Especially if it's near a loom gate.
There's a small compartment here, hidden in the statue, already open and empty.
I often heard that as you entered the perch, the bustle of Dynevron would begin to crescendo until it peaked in the market.
Mano, pera.
The tattered mantle. I've heard so many stories of this tavern. Always rowdy.
Aqui a gente vai passando pra frente, né? É pra lá. Ok.
Careful! A sledgeworm can throw things over 3 times its size.
Não, vou
These
tentar.
streets running in parallel are known as the Three Sisters, but many weavers hostel here.
Broker's Arch, the market Loomgate.
Same spot as the last statue. Struck a vein, as my dad used to say.
Wait, I was half listening. Are you hurt?
Metaphor. Her dad was a miner.
We've got a tally sheet of some sort, a series of numbers below, and a bunch of garbled text below that. I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Aye, mate.
Tem que falar com o Casmin. Eu tenho que vir agora pro porteador. Tem que ir agora pra cá, vai ter que voltar tudo, velho.
Lower Dnevron was hit hard by the surge too.
Perhaps even harder. It looks as though it's been ripped apart.
The undergrade. This is where the seediest of deals were done.
Te falar, viu? O negócio contigo, vem cá. Vai embora, vai. Vai embora. Bichão ali. Tá louco? Não vou enfrentar isso não. Valeu. Tá vantagem, né? Tá louco? Tô certinho, tô certinho. Oxi. Pô, burrão, cara, era só apertar o F ali e voltar, velho. Eu fiz isso tudo, mano. Oxi. Que isso?
For a band of weavers who just discovered a long-lost city,
The prospect of imminent death has put a down.
While you were out, I found a note. A warning, actually.
We suspect our Hearthsider friend snuck back into the camp.
The letter cautions us that a phenomenon referred to as the Flood is essentially a torrential wave of deadly raw magic that will completely overtake the outskirts and Dynevron. Apparently this is a cyclical disaster preceded by extreme weather. Anyone caught in it will die.
The tangle-scorched body you found must have been killed by it.
Hence, we're taking the warning seriously.
honestly, that's not the news I was hoping to hear. But it
You did hear Dom say torrential...
Yes. I also heard cyclical, and that it was a Hearthsider who warned us, which means our goal of finding out what happened to the Hearthsiders hasn't changed. If anything.
If this flood is cyclical, it means the Hearthsiders are surviving it. Maybe they have a safe haven on high ground, or enchantments of some kind. All this means is we need to track down the Hearthsiders.
As though our lives depend on it.
Yeah, that...
Olha com Casmin. Tá, vamos aqui. Vai melhorar a estação.
dead body and a hidden cache of material.
Parece o começo de um conto.
Sounds like the start of a scold's tale.
All we need is a saber conveniently placed on the mantle and we're set.
More seriously, you said you had an idea about that sheet?
Before signing on with Aurea, I worked the relief ships between my home and Udea. A Don Brenning initiative, mind you. Our neighbors across the bay love to claim otherwise. The dockers always wanted big loads for the cranes. But certain things, like, say, herbs, you'd only over the years, the convoys developed a system where you'd have runners. Runners would make quick trips and bring small goods to a drop. Haulers would pack the cargo together and make longer hauls to the dock.
You think we're looking at a similar system, then?
Absolutely, I do. It's the sheet you found. That's a requisition for a runner. And note how it says Scout Group 23 here. That's a lot.
Which means my mysterious observer is part of a large organization.
And an active one.
When you say requisition...
Think of it like an order. Bread, cheese, carrots. But left at the drop for the runner to prioritize before the next gather. It takes forethought. There's necessary lag between the order going out and being filled. But any logistician worth their salt can see a few months ahead and plan accordingly.
How can you be sure the Enclave folks would use similar methods to yours?
It's centuries old. And you don't fix what wasn't broken. Especially, and from the state of the capital, they were definitely in crisis.
Do the items they're asking for seem important?
No, I don't think so. Lane thinks the garble at the bottom might be, but not the order. They're prioritizing fabricated items over raw goods.
What would that indicate?
At a guess, our Hearthsiders have lost, or were expecting to lose,
Kaz, I have to ask. How does it feel having this specific piece of...
Why?
Because if we suddenly needed to know about Calnhaven or export quotas...
How is that a thing you know exactly?
Dad was a miner.
I promise you won't tell the others.
I can manage that.
Then yes. Yeah.
What do we do with this information?
At the bottom of the sheet, there's that series of numbers and letters. Those would represent drop points. I did some digging with Lane, and they're referring to coordinates on a map of the Enclave that was made just before the surge. L7 is part of the capital. See? That's where you've... So, I'm inferring that these other marked coordinates are just as likely to...
I'll check them then.
If nothing else, we could find materials for our own stocks.
Maybe where our Hearthsiders are hiding.
Also, Lane was looking over the orders and wanted to talk to you about the writing along the bottom.
More drops, and talk to Lane.
Procure mais 2 pontos de coleta em alto da pira sacra em Alta Dynevron. Porte cacimba.
Sola seems pretty pleased with the upgrades to her forge. I think she might want to thank you, Bryn.
Fazer reciclagem aqui. Calma aí. Reciclar. Ferro, vou reciclar tudo. Tudo que for assim, ó, é bom reciclar porque a gente pega muito. Aí a gente melhora a estação dela. Tá, eu vou reciclar mais aqui. Tenho 20. Eu preciso de quanto? 25. Tá, essa aqui é beleza. A gente melhora o dela. Não, são 50. Tá. Beleza. Show, agora a gente vai lá. O que a gente pode fazer aqui? Tu, meu amigo, o que você faz? Nada, só fala. Criar. Olha. Olha esse escudo, my friend. Cada escudo de fogo, um encantamento diabólico quando energizado pela magia do seu portador. O escudo plantou fogo. Loja. Maravilhoso, maravilhoso. Melhorar equipamento. Será que a gente consegue melhorar? Não consegue, né? Reforjar. Tem como reforjar algo que eu acabei de fazer. É o melhor que vai ter. A luva. Tá bom, tá bom, tá bom. Alta pira em Alta Dnevron. É aqui que eu tenho que ir. Beleza, vamos lá. Alta Dynevron. Vamos lá. Procure mais 2 pontos de coleta. E aqui, será que eu dou... Tá bom aqui? Não, não é bom nisso. Tá lá em cima? Ih. É lá em cima.
Watch the tangles coming out of that chasm. The surge hit this place hard.
And look, more coral.
Tem que ir pra lá, mas pra ir pra lá tem que passar por aqui antes.
Would explain why there's so much damage here from the surge.
Muito bom, velho. Muito boa essa arma aqui. Eu creio que eu não vou te voltar de tu, não.
Religious beliefs from across the Maida were practiced in the Enclave. But the Church of the Hallowed Pyre values monuments. They regularly erect temples and shrines.
Better spread their influence.
Why else would a religion invest in property?
This temple has seen better days.
The high pyre remains intact, though. Built to last.
É lá embaixo.
Should be a drop somewhere around here.
Aqui, ó.
Let's see. Supplies. That's good. More orders. Oh.
What's up?
Drops will be assigned to specific teams and tracked individually to deal with recent concerns.
That's boss talk for we're watching you because someone had their hand in the cookie jar.
Fortinho. No baluarte. Onde fica? É aqui? Fica lá em cima? Se encontrar duas remessas, deve ter uma no alto e outra em algum canto do fortinho, no baluarte. Baluarte. Onde fica esse baluarte? Deixa eu voltar. Que aí, ó, já deixo meus recursos aqui. E volto lá. Vamos pra cá. Como é que a gente consegue encontrar alguma coisa ali?
The air's thick, almost sour. What's happened?
This can't be natural.
This is exactly what happened to Taza after the surge, when all the aeroliths failed. It must be something like that.
A gente tem que achar, cá deve ser algum... Tem que achar um lugar aí. Vou tentar achar um mapa aqui pra gente sair daqui e eu já volto. Bem, gente, é isso aqui, ó. É esse caminho aqui, ó. A gente tinha que vir daqui pra cá pra cima. congelado, cara. Tá um inferno daqui, cara. Tá muito ruim. Muito ruim. Vigilância e segurança. O baluarte. Okay.
This must be the bastion.
The large military was never the Enclave's priority. They did not aspire to conquest. Instead, they focused on defense. Their core interest was protecting not only their civilians, but their cutting-edge innovations.
Pra lá.
Soldiers could see for leagues from vigilant falls. The patrollers would easily spot incoming attacks.
Far jump, even for you.
Too bad I don't have wings.
Feathers wouldn't suit your face. Lane, any idea what that pillar is?
I did find a reference to the Trial of Fires, a rite of passage for new Bastion Sworn before they could cross over to their new life.
Crossing over, Trial of Fires, unsubtle. Bryn, what happens if you make it hot?
Algumas peças do Enclave canceladas brasileiros. Ah, tá.
Nice work.
Pretty involved. Still, you'll have no trouble when it's your turn to head back out in the field.
Be sure to scour the bastion.
Fortinho lá.
This must be where the military stored supplies and weapons before the surge.
The keep housed the Enclave's ward room. Matters of high security were discussed inside. A war room.
It looks like the recorded minutes of the meetings that took place here. The last one is dated roughly 26 years ago.
What was it about?
A lot of information was torn off. Casualties got too high due to something they blotted over with ink. And the military commander should execute a defensive measure called asylum. Asylum. What could that be?
Scour the rest of the keep and find out.
Vasculhe o resto do fortinho e descubra. Beleza, né? Será que tem que acender aqui?
Some sort of access beneath the keep.
Military workshop for enchanters.
The Enclave never used magic to expand its borders, but had to defend itself.
Against nations that thought otherwise.
Exactly.
que é isso aqui? Okay.
Research notes from about 40 years ago, probably from an enchanter that worked here, observing arc degradation. Looks like there was an expected and normal amount of degradation observed in the arcs following the surge. But once the arcs start killing civilians, it says this is a systemic failure. What could that mean?
It means the arcs weren't sent to attack us as a means of defense.
They've lost control over them.
A final note scrawled on the cover page. The Archons will be no use in Asylum's execution.
Subir.
Should be a drop somewhere around here. Another notice. Drops must be completed and all runners to safety before the next predicted flood.
This confirms they have a way to predict this. And some way to stay safe.
Let's stay focused on our runners for now. That's all of them.
3 supply drops. Not a lot of answers.
I believe I can help with that.
Compra o código. Puxa do bando, mas ainda não soluciona o mistério de bobagem no fim da página. Aí tem alguns palpites, então vou atrás dela agora.
You wanted to talk about the supply orders?
Ter uma ideia. Calma aqui. Pronto, agora tá melhor.
Indeed. It's about the gibberish along the bottom. Notice how the writing is in a different hand.
I noticed that. Also, the orders are all written by different people, but the
We're looking at a cipher. Someone sharing encoded notes.
Can you give me a quick rundown on encoding, so I'm sure I'm following?
A favorite topic of mine? Cipher is a blanket term for securing text so that only an intended recipient can read it. They range from reasonably simple swaps of letters to complex changes that require devices or key sheets to solve. But, as notes quickly added to supply orders, the codes we are dealing with were simple by necessity.
What's your background with ciphers, Lane?
There's something of a hobby for me. Specifically, breaking them.
A fan of knowing secrets?
More a fan of information being shared freely. Udean nobility relies on them heavily, and being privy to the dirty laundry of the nobles is advantageous.
You're sure we're dealing with a code and not just doodles?
While possible, it's not likely that someone would scrawl nonsense on the bottom of official orders. Why do so? To practice calligraphy? To refine? But this is decidedly not.
Any initial guesses as to what the cipher says?
Hard to say exactly, but what we know is these orders were for Scout Group 23. So let's assume there is an organized group of Hearthsiders arranging these drops. At a guess, this was an unofficial channel of information
Information that would be invaluable.
Agreed. Why encode text if it's not significant?
Sounds like we have a cipher to break. I'll keep hitting dead drops.
Any code is easier to break with more samples. You can work on it like any other research project.
Recupere amostras de escrita codificada do ponto de coleta, depois monte o códice. Códigos velozantes. Ué, mas já tá aqui. Código de velozantes. Codificação é sempre um equilíbrio delicado entre probabilidade de descoberta e intensidade de codificação de circunstâncias de descoberta. Nossos velozantes aparentemente reconhecendo que as probabilidades de descobertas eram baixas e entendo que passar mensagens no campo optaram por um código rotacional simples. Talvez tenha sido um que aprenderam quando crianças e reutilizaram para se comunicar de forma a impedir que a liderança do Enclave descobrisse. Embora as anotações usem bastante abreviação juntas, elas deixam claro que nem tudo vai bem com as risadas suspeitas estavam crescendo e a aquisição do suprimento parece se tornando cada vez mais perigosa com o tempo.
Yes, and if the R is with the numbers of false increment that just indicates spaces. Ah!
Got it?
Yes. I'll translate all that we have and we can discuss it with Casmin.
Good stuff, Lane. We need all the information we can get.
And valuable insight into post-surge society that developed here.
O código já foi, agora é a provisão. Olhe com Casmin sobre as notas decodificadas.
Well, Codebreakers, how are we feeling?
Satisfied. We have enjoyed reasonable success.
That's Lane's way of saying they crushed it.
Notes being passed between a brother and sister, quite candid, and dissatisfied. In particular with their boss, who they refer to as the Grumple.
The Grumple?
A Renlund myth, where ill-behaved children would be gathered up in a sack and tossed into the river to drown at the end of the year.
Bye.
The Grumple, yes. Renlund fables prominently featured drowning as a punishment for children. The myth has fallen out of favor in recent decades, though. Ren society is less forgiving of...
The Grumple.
Really?
Moving swiftly on. What else did the...
Remember that ominous note about tracking individually in specific teams?
From the context provided by our hauler, we now know a significant number of half...
But only just surviving. They relied on the runner-hauler teams. But supplies consist. There is also a sense that the Enclave was getting increasingly dangerous for the
floods.
With supplies running thin, the supply teams were falling under suspicion of stealing.
This pair responded with the entirely reasonable, if exhausting, plan of overperforming.
I've done that job, Lane. Sometimes you just need to prove the ass in charge wrong.
Indeed. They collected a cache of rare items they were planning to turn in when they felt its size and value would...
Do we know if they turned it?
No. But we know what it was.
And that's where I come in.
Procura a caixa grande sob um manto esfarrapado em Baixa Dynevron. Agora para onde nós temos que ir? Procura a caixa sob o manto. Lá embaixo. Vamos ter que descobrir como é que desce. Achou. Aqui? Calma aí. Não é. Aqui, será? cara não morre, né? Ai, pelo amor de Deus.
Everything all right?
Yeah. There's just so much. Oh. And a letter. Encoded like the others.
Can't wait to work it out.
Então vou voltar. Vamos lá falar com a Casmi.
So, the letter. I'm prepared for bad news.
How did you know?
They were collecting supplies for other survivors. We know someone is out there. That and the tear stain.
Is that what that was? Yes, well, there's a lot to cover. We have the cache itself and our scrounging sibling.
We should at least give you the high-level details on both. Where do you want to start?
What did the final note say?
Yes, right. One sibling disappeared.
I thought the runner of the pair was the one we...
So did we. But this last message was a farewell to his sister.
Really?
I know. But apparently their boss had been ordered to stop wasting resources.
And so our hauler left this farewell, hoping his sister might find it on the...
He was going to remove all their other messages so their plan wouldn't be found out.
We postulate he was on his way to do that.
When the flood caught him.
These people, however many are left,
They might really need our help.
they're still organized and have a command structure. But it sounds dysfunctional.
Is there anything we could do, do you think?
Sadly, no. But their story will...
Did we confirm they weren't actually stealing from the Enclave?
The letter seems genuine. I think their plan was to bring in a big...
It says a lot about the Hearthsiders that our siblings thought this would clear any suspicion.
How so?
The cloud of suspicion tells us they were in.
But bring in a big load and we trust you.
So you think...
No. I think the system's dirty.
I'm not going to say the name. But do we have any...
The Enclave's leader was called the Eye, a first of first, elected from the masters of each craft, the High Smith, High Enchanter. Unfortunately, we don't have any details about... I will spare you the name.
Let's move on to something else.
Of course.
Talk to me about the supplies.
They did astonishing work. If I weren't sure they're both gone.
Indeed, a robust collection, including several enchanted...
They had a keen eye for things that could decay and took care to preserve.
You two sound...
If there's one thing Lane and I are passionate about,
Were there any hints of more of them?
As far as we can tell, this...
It's impressive one runner could gather this much.
Have you been working your magic?
Obviously. Thank you for bringing everything back so carefully.
Anything of note?
Yes, but let's save that until we've done the other questions.
That's enough about the cap.
Sure.
So,
We're not sure. It is a win, including enchanting supply.
For study, if nothing else.
I suppose the only other thing to say is...
Indeed. We have made progress in unraveling the shape of what the... Further, these documents are...
And maybe you put a couple souls to rest. Not to be sensible.
Ok. Provisões então cumprimos, né? Tá. Deixa eu só verificar aqui. Preciso melhorar a arma. Preciso pegar fio pra ele. Criar.
Kept it light for agility.
Quatro, três, quatro, 4, 5. 3, 1, 4, 1. Um, 3, 1. Aqui já foi.
Classic design here. Ah, meu amigo, eu só tô... O que eu acabei de fazer? Acabei de fazer... form and function. Fit for a point.
Pronto.
Nice to work on something a little lighter every once in a while.
É isso, minha gente. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Muita coisa que a gente tá fazendo aqui, ó. As melhorias disponíveis. A gente pode melhorar eles, mas com o tempo a gente vai fazendo algumas coisas. Provavelmente algumas missões. Nossa. Missões de caçada. Tem que fazer essas missões de caçada. Eu vou dedicar um vídeo só pra missão de caçada. A gente vai cortando pra ser mais rápido, beleza? Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Deixa o like, compartilhe.